Exe, what's up? You know the face, well at least if you follow the channel. VJ the brother from the ancient mother. It's yet another Headspace album review, project review. You know, sometimes I get confused in case of how to title these things because nowadays some cats are calling their albums mixtapes, some are calling their mixtapes EPs, some are calling their albums EPs. You know, we need to have an episode on defining these titles, and really going into what constitutes an EP, an album, and a mixtape. Then, now, the differences. But anyways, before I get carried away, you're watching South Africa's most poignant hip-hop podcast. We're SA hip-hop orientated, but we're African hip-hop dedicated. We're here for the culture. We're here to expose and impose all of what we believe is the hardest working hip-hop practitioners in this country right now, from Cape to Cairo, you know, to be corny with it. This is what we're attempting to do, and I think we're doing it in small little chunks and bites, and this is just one of the segments that help us in sculpting something broader than what pop culture is giving us right now, because there's just so much talent in SA hip-hop, talent in SA rap. One of these talents, somebody who I'm tempted to call an OG, simply because he's been at it for a minute. What did he used to call himself? I always forget the
Underground.
Underground. I remember back those days. Cap City MC. This is somebody who's definitely cultivated by the cypher. And as with MCs who are cultivated by the cypher, there's a tendency to kind of remain in that space of rapping for other rappers, particularly rapping for other men, to rap for this invisible whack rapper, to kind of clothe yourself in a gauntlet of military aggressive raps, which kind of does not translate well musically, because music depicts a broader experience than just the experience of battle or the experience of aggression or competition. And sometimes you super hyper lyrical, spiritual, miracle motherfuckers tend to be too fixated on proving a point to each other rather than just making good music. I want to segue this review that way because the artist formerly known as Underground, evolving into B.O.Y Wonder, seems to be taking a deliberate transition from the world of yo my man, I kill you cause you whack, to the world of yo, who am I and why do I rap? Who let the dogs out? These are the questions, guys. Now, the tendency for a lot of hip-hop heads who have been cultivated in the 90s is to rap for each other. Because I was one of them, cultivated in the space of the cypher, where the whack MC is the constant vision, where transcending the whack MC is this continuum which kind of never ends if you don't decide to go out of that context. And very few MCs make that decision to say, I don't rap for other rappers anymore. I no longer use my craft to prove myself to other MCs, particularly other male MCs, because there's a real hyper-masculine tone about it. But why am I rambling on about these complex politics of what was once termed underground rap? It's because when artists jump out of that branch and decide that I have consciously proven myself as far as I feel I need to, and now is the time to actually translate and make quote-unquote real music. Music that speaks to people's emotions. Music that speaks to who I am, what my life is about, why I rap, and how these things leak into my love for rap, and as a result, for hip-hop. The artist, formerly known as Underground, transitioned into this new metamorphosis, B.O.Y Wonder, who in the name is really clearly trying to freshen themselves up and revitalize themselves into an artist who is beyond the cypher, beyond hoodies and Timberlands. Somebody who can move from the boardroom to the playground, to the club, to your headsets, to your internal imagination, to your toilet, to everywhere you go. An artist that can inhabit all of the corners of the human experience. Mind you, this man, experienced in the media space, not only as an MC. I got a lot of respect for people who understand how to take the lessons of art and media and kind of assimilate them into the constant growing art form that is rap. A well-known voiceover artist and actor, this man has been in some of the biggest soapies in the countries. This is somebody who, for the lack of a better word, is in the mix and is able to take those lessons of the industry, lessons of how capitalism works to reproduce art, lessons of how things get tired real quick when you are too eager to fit into formula instead of finding yourself. And he does this so well because Omega feels like his last step into an effort of bringing himself across. There's an artist who's had many efforts, and I think like with the project before, which we'll probably post the links in the description, there was a disconnect that really felt like somebody still trying to wear the costumes of others. An artist who very much is cultivated in the 90s, but is trying to do a sound younger, a sound broader, a sound more niche than what his particular kind of track in evolution is about. But man, he really went to the drawing board and said, I am fundamentally a lyricist, so if I'm going to be able to shine, it's by accentuating my lyricism. And if my lyricism is going to be able to be palatable to a general audience, I have to use a sonic texture which is able to grow beyond a typically hip-hop sound. And he does that. He gives us a lo-fi, easygoing, breathtaking display of soft drums and open palettes, and he raps some of the most aggressive, but I mean aggressive in a real playful way, like, you know, somebody who's trying to save the day, a superhero, a boy wonder, who comes through and gives us a sound scope that is robust spoken word art to a soothing sonic texture. He gives us a navigation that moves between punchy, soulful samples and off-kilter ambience, and in the end it's just something so breathtaking because what he does is he uses his vocals as a way to pierce through your soul, and he uses the beats as a way to mellow you in them. Abstract lyricism, moving from corner to corner, zigzagging around your imagination, talking about things from theater to agriculture to the deep ground roots of life to city life to love. And he uses his homies, people like J. Jody, to come through and be the quote-unquote super team in his assault against monotonous music. And I love it. I feel like this is a powerful piece that speaks to how we can save the day in hip-hop's latest episode. And I think Boy Wonder, caping on his back, is ready to become one of our saviors. And what do I mean by savior? Somebody who takes it upon themselves to show us what uniqueness can be when you eventually try and try and try and never give up on yourself. This project, brilliant expression of individuality masked by a very usable approach that takes familiarity and is able to kind of pierce you into surprisingly interesting places with the lyricism. Therefore, I am super compelled to easily give this one a 7.5 out of 10 to a good 8 on a really great day. Because what it does is that it establishes the fact that abstract rap does not only live in the murky dark corners that Iapetus gives us so lovely. Abstract rap does not only live in places where it's a head trip music that feels very occult and icy and cold. His project is warm, it can be played on the beach, it can be played in places of soft tenderness, but at the very same time it speaks to the sharp, brazen, robust heart of a man who's still trying to prove himself as a unique artist. I didn't say rapper, unique artist. This man has rapped his ass off enough. And I think right now, I think there comes a time in every rapper's life where they ask themselves the question, am I rap for rappers or am I rap in the general broader artistic mold of what music can be? And this is what kind of differentiates the tastemakers from the genuine MC musicians who are able to grow the culture and develop the sonic texture of what rap music can be. Shout out to Boy Wonder. Shout out to Cap City, shout out to PTA Hip Hop, shout out to you for subscribing. If you have, if you haven't, you're part of the problem. My name is Vijay, the brother from the ancient mother. I do these reviews because I'm trying to understand what each and every artist is inspired by. And in getting to the core of what they're inspired by, it always fits into a category. And if they meet the rules of that category in ways that speak to both novelty but also an effective understanding of the habit of that category, we're on to something. So these ratings are an expression of how well the artist is able to sit in a place of familiarity yet strike a unique tone in our ears that makes us go beyond one listen. You know what they say? Replay value. That's what it's all about. And I think this particular project is replayable for days, months, and even years, especially if you love your rapidy raps, but you love them to a soundscape that's closer to the beautiful mellow sounds of general music, from your jazz to your pops. So beautiful experimentation, successful experimentation by the rap scientist, superhero extraordinaire, B.O.Y to the Wonder. Shout out to all artists who strive to be themselves and do themselves in ways that inspire us to be ourselves. It's all is about authenticity, Papa. Love y'all. So what's up? VJ the brother from the ancient mother. It's been an honor and pleasure throughout these years, to really give you South Africa's most poignant hip-hop content. Now, December, December, hello December, we're celebrating with hip-hop heads. It's the One Room Headspace Cypher, 30th of December, 6 o'clock. If you love hip-hop, if you love that boom bap, that punch, that slam, that rap, if you think you can rap for us, you stand a chance to win an artist EP package. What does that mean? It means 3 songs of your own choosing, mixed mastered, recorded by us, album art provided. Basically, you get to have that jump start that I think a lot of rappers would want to have when putting themselves across out there in the scene. But anyways, we're celebrating hip-hop, we're celebrating the culture. It's the Headspace doing it for you. So please, those who have the time, the energy, the willingness, the fire for it, catch us front and center, live and direct at the place to be. Much love, keep supporting the Headspace, keep subscribing. We got this far because of you, and we just want to celebrate it all. We only got one life, and we live this one life in the context of the culture, in all its beauty, in all its glory. Love y'all.